New Year's has come and we have a completely new year. We're going to be talking about astrology. We're going to talk about what was so crazy about last week. And all those predictions from last week came true. And we're going to be talking about what's up this week. It's going to be really powerful. Looking to have my sensei to Serious Joy, Christopher Witecki, joining us here live in a minute. Now, Christopher is going to be here in Cancun. So if you guys want to talk, we're probably going to be pulling some people up today. So put in your sun, your moon, and your rising. If you know it, if you know the degrees, that's even better. I love about Christopher. He's a TV guy. So he's always on time. Exactly. Never ever a minute late. So put down how you're feeling. Hey, Christopher.
Hola! How's it going, brother?
Going good. So how is it in Mexico? How's your journey so far?
I'm loving it actually. I mean, it was timed perfectly for the astrology because this is like a chill planning week. So I'm loving it. Plus, this is tropical sensei here. I'm having a good time.
Well, this is what we live every day now.
It's nice. I think it's a good life to have, man. I'm looking around and thinking long-term thoughts.
Well, we're
You know
actually
the
we're going a couple hours from here, and we're putting together a compound that will hold somewhere between 80 and 100 people.
That's great. Great. Near Cancun.
Yeah, yeah, a couple hours up the other way. Of course, with Aisha, we have local knowledge here, right? Specifically, so there's
All
areas that,
right.
yeah. So the trick is to be able to buy spot. Like you have to know people and stuff like that. It's not as easy as it would seem.
No, it seems like it. Seeing all the half constructed buildings around here,
Yeah,
I can see there's a lot of like Mexican tape.
yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So I got to tell you, things have been getting a little bit paranormally weird for me already, in a good
Oh,
way.
really? Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. I mean,
Paranormal's
well,
good.
first of all, everything that you said last week, coming into yesterday, our live yesterday had the highest viewing audience ever.
Oh, that's
Um,
interesting. Our live did last Friday too.
yeah, and it was on top of that, people that were in the live, there was a different energy, and you could feel it from everybody. And what I was saying is that it's almost like the worst is over because people who are committed to a plan, they're working on themselves, they're following astrology, taking care of their bodies and their lives. From now, it's just stuff you got to get through. But all of the tear down is gone away.
Oh, that's good to know. I mean, I'm on vacation, so I'm feeling that, but I don't know if it's the vacation or the energy. But I don't know. Mercury went direct last night, and the power went out in the restaurant we're at. Like right, I literally got the message. Mercury's direct. It's like like it
Yeah,
all went
yeah.
down. Like
That's what I'm saying. Our
the power
door, our big gated door broke right then.
right at the moment. I was like, wow, this is the most accurate instant Mercury shift in direction I've ever had. We're definitely having ringing out. Like I felt Jupiter went direct on December 30th,
Yeah.
and we had a lot of tempers flare. Like I was witnessing a lot of temper in the last 48 hours. People getting pissed at people, people saying stuff they've been wanting to say all year. I think like bubbling up to the surface for release. Lots of conflicts. I was, in some cases bowing out, in some cases participating. Like it was interesting.
Yeah,
But I kind of think it
well,
was
that's
Jupiter
step
stationing
nine,
direct in
right?
Taurus.
That was
Yeah,
step nine.
step nine was New Year's Eve. Yesterday was step 10.
Yeah.
Um, on New Year's Eve, on December 30th, Jupiter stationed direct on Saturday. And I think Jupiter direct really empowers you. Like it empowers you, especially when it stations direct, you suddenly no longer doubt. You suddenly believe, and so from that belief comes conviction and comes action. And I think I saw a lot of action happening. And I'm
Yeah.
seeing people like last minute, like people bailing on teams at the last minute, people bailing on plans, like people the very last minute opting out. I'm noticing.
Yes. I noticed that quite a bit. And I had a weird experience today. I'm not a big dreamer. I just never
Oh,
have been. But I am I got up this morning in my right ear after I got up, so I wasn't dreaming. I saw a vision of Man Vinder, our cinematographer. He's a Scorpio. He's got 29s all through his chart. and it was like I'm coming soon,
Huh.
and so right here is to listen to something in this world. Then Tracy comes in about an hour later and says, "Oh, my sister was watching you last night, and she channels from her guides, and she has something to say to you." And normally, when people say, I get that all the time. So normally, when people say that, I'm like, "Thanks, thanks," if I listen to everybody, I mean, some are good, some aren't, right?
Right.
And and I said, well, my qualifying is, what's your birthday? And it was like my mom's birthday, my mom's astrology,
Oh,
and
wow.
yeah, my mom is one who set this whole thing in motion. So then I'm
Oh,
like,
that's
oh, I'm
interesting.
listening now. So that was like the Scorpio on the other side that I would recognize, so I'd know, saying to listen to this information.
Mm. And was it, well, you left us hanging.
Well,
Was it good?
it was a series of things to do for me. One of them was
Okay.
to go in the jungle, into like the cenotes. They have those big round domes, to go in there, to go pee on the ground in the jungle. Like just a list of things to do, and
Huh.
very, very specific. And when I like, if it hadn't have been from the way that it came, I wouldn't take it seriously. And we're going to the jungle to look at our property on Sunday.
Oh, so your property's in the jungle, huh? That's interesting.
Well, it's like jungle by the beach. It's on the beach.
Yeah.
So
I,
there's
I,
like, and there's a farm there that has all the fruits and vegetables already growing.
oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, it is here in Mexico. I'm amazed. Mexico is beautiful. The energy is amazing. It is like the beach, condos, jungle. Like
Yeah,
there's no like. I think that's also their development, like part of the laws, keeping things underdeveloped deliberately.
yeah. I mean, again, if you know somebody and you pay somebody, you can get pretty much anything you want done.
Yeah, this America's the same way, but you pay a lot more, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think it's that way everywhere, brother. Yeah, so that's fascinating. I'm getting lots of messages coming in too. I'm having a real perspective. So I'm having a major perspective shift
Yeah,
inside
yeah,
me, and I really think that's Jupiter direct.
yeah. Me
Um,
too. Me too.
and the only way I can describe it is I'm very cautionary. I like to make sure I'm correct. I have a lot of alignments before the bull charges. And so suddenly I just got a lot of green lights. Like, nope, no need to doubt, no need to question anymore, no need to hold back. Just go straight forward. And for me, it's a major shift in an era for me, because I would say up until this point in my life, I've been holding back.
Yeah,
And now I'm getting the green light to, make way.
that makes a lot of sense. I mean, I definitely feel that. I'm having physical transformations, which my body went into a detox right on the 30th, and I could feel it, and I was ready for it, because it usually is if it doesn't happen on a monthly basis, I'll get something in the 3 month window, and so I was waiting for it to do it, and as my body started to detox, I decide, whenever I do that, I just stop eating. I start fasting and water fasting. So I'm like 4 days on my fast right now, but my body is changing shape now, and that's what happens. It's been you've seen my journey and seen
Oh,
how I've
yeah.
changed. I
Yeah,
just went
many
through a big
times.
one yesterday, last couple of days.
That's I wonder what that is. Let's see, with your Aries rising. Huh. I can't see any of that in my head, like what would cause that. Nothing in Virgo going on. I guess you're just ahead of the curve.
Yeah, it's the way I interpret it is that we're all responding to stimulus, which is energy or vibration.
Yeah.
And if you put a bunch of styrofoam balls on a plate and you put vibration, they all dance at different heights. If you put sand on a plate and you vibrate it, all geometric patterns. If you take water and put a sine wave on it, the water actually goes reverse. Even if it's spinning down, a path comes up reverse. So when our fascia is open, my belief system is, when the fascia is open, the body can alter and change shape based upon a new reality. So I'm responding different. I vibrate differently against what's coming. The whole human experience is about reaction to the environment.
Interesting. Well, I mean, I have a sense I'm going to go through my transformation when I return. I'm going to do your 28-day reset. I'm going to also, would you advise, I want to do I also think I should do a cleanse.
Uh,
What's
our
your perspective
our
on
reset
cleanses?
is the cleanse.
Oh, it's a
Yeah,
cleanse? Okay, good.
yeah. It's a anti-inflammatory reset. It's a complete cleanse of your GI tract. Yeah, complete cleanse of your GI tract. It's a complete cleanse of your or sorry, rebuilding of your minerals, which actually is signaling to make the body heal. It's very, very intentional. It's basically the lowest amount of stuff that you can do to the human body at impact in order for the body to do the most amount of work. Because anytime I take away a function from the body, it creates a disability.
Mm, okay. And is the reset involve food? Like, do you? And I'm sorry I haven't dove into this
No,
yet.
no, it's okay. No, no, we
I'm on my
don't
last stage of my
specifically.
indulgence.
Yeah, no,
The only thing I'm
we
fasting right now
actually
is food in my mouth.
people change their diets naturally. It's taking chemicals out.
Okay.
When
Right.
when you take chemicals out of your body for 28 days or for 2 months or 3 months, effectively, at the first month you no longer crave the same things, because what happens is the chemicals that we've been consuming in our food and we have in our body, when we have an emotion, the body sends hormones to resolve that emotion. And if the chemicals confuse the body to send the wrong hormones. So it tells the body, like, let's say, bad example, but I'm saying, like, if you have a bag of Cheetos, your body kind of, the chemicals in there trick your nervous system into thinking it's calcium and cheese and fat. But what it is it's chemicals, and your body eats it, and then you digest it. Your body goes, oh, thanks, I got all the calcium and fat, all I need. Then you digest it, and your digestive system comes back to the brain and says, hey, wait a second here, none of that stuff was in there. So then you have an addiction to eat more. It sends a signal to eat more. So
Oh.
when you take the chemicals out, people's bodies naturally start to, like, for example, my situation, my weight. Naturally my weight came. I don't have to do anything to maintain my weight now. If I don't work out, I still am, like, looking muscular, feeling thin. If I work out, I just look a little bit more of it.
Right. It's not doing well. So in the reset, is there a diet that accompanies it? I'm
Not
just, I'm interviewing.
particularly. It's literally, I don't care what diet you do. Just take the chemicals out. Like your
Okay.
Starbucks coffee, can't do it anymore.
No, it's fine. I've quit Starbucks many times. We have a very, very tumultuous relationship.
Yeah, because what's in all Starbucks product is glyphosate, and glyphosate, it tells your body, it tells your nervous system that glyphosate mimics glycine, which is what your body uses to make proteins, and proteins run our body. So it gives you a fake protein, and then it causes protein folding issues, which cause all of your chronic diseases.
Okay.
So that's basically, if people are trying to heal and they're listening to this right now and you're going to Starbucks, good luck.
Yeah. Well, you can tell there's something else in Starbucks, like cocaine or something, because it's not the normal caffeine high.
Yeah,
There's like a jittery paranoia, look over your
that's
shoulder,
the
you know.
chemicals. Yeah.
It's
So
yeah,
when you have a jittery like this,
yeah.
that's usually mold. And then when you have a buzzing here, that's pesticides.
Oh, okay. So I guess I'm eating a lot of mold.
And then when you have the outrageous thoughts, like wild narratives, that's glyphosate.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's well, I think we all are. Yeah, I think we're all glyphosate riddled with everything we're eating. Have you
Well, not us.
right,
We're
yeah,
100%
totally, yeah.
glyphosate
Well,
free.
I can tell you right away, folks, like here in Mexico, like the food is so much better than the United States.
100%.
I feel like Trump. It's so much better.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, no, it is. You can tell. Like for one, you're full with small
Yeah.
portions. That's the first thing. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. The other part too is down here is, like, you go to local markets to get produce. It is organic because they're not putting pesticides, or they
yeah,
don't have the money to do it. The
yeah,
US and Canadian food system is highly toxic. I'll tell you, even if you buy organic food in Canada,
yeah,
or the United States, they truck it from somewhere, right? So when
right.
they truck that food in, that the trucking, so it can be organically grown, but when it's trucked, so it doesn't cross contaminate and get bugs and that, they spray it. And
Oh
then
my
when
God.
it, yeah, it's like, so we're always on this. Like, like we take and we demonstrate, you take places like Whole Foods and we take organic produce out and we put it in a high pH water so that you can see, and the oil comes up to the surface like it's all oily and sticky on the water. And this is supposed to be organic. It's not everything, but it depends. I mean, I do believe that the general intention is to create organic food as organic food. But what I have discovered is that that all of these other things that we're not aware of cause a problem. Because I have people that with organic certifications, they're like, no, tell me these people are not. I'm like, go test the stuff at the store and you'll know. It's not. We have tested and it's not.
Right, and that's what I've heard too. Like the USDA, the way they've got. I mean, it seems like they're intent on poisoning us because it's like you can have organic food, but you have to like bleach the floors. Like there's all sorts of like chemical cleansing. What's the word I'm looking for? Methods that you have to use, so you end up retoxifying it anyways, not from the growth, but from the aftermarket approaches to it, like you said.
Yeah. So it's a confusing market. So we teach people to test their body, and a simple sway test will tell you if it's good for you or not. Super easy to do, super easy to learn. It's about 80% reliable for people, 80 to 90%. As you get better at it, it becomes 100%. But
Okay.
I don't look at a label anymore. I actually feel it, and I can feel right away. I can feel it from a distance, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's pretty interesting. So so is this is a good time for a reset, right?
Yeah,
You feel?
and I believe it's because it's the new me, and I felt it. Like I felt the difference. I went live on yesterday, I guess on New Year's Day. I went live. I had the biggest audience that we'd ever had,
Hmm.
and I got really emotional before I went live, like crying,
Oh,
but tears of joy. And it was like, and I was like, the joy was, I know that the people that have been doing the things right in their lives, the hardest part is over. It's not like they don't have a battle to, or not a battle, they don't have a steps to climb, but it was like swimming upstream. Now we're swimming downstream. We just choose to either swim really slow or we actually paddle with the stream and we get some momentum.
right. The astrology is saying the same thing.
Oh, perfect. Well, I
Yeah,
guess
that's
I'm
a
sensing it
well.
exactly. That's literally
That's
it.
that's how we team up, buddy.
So,
Yeah.
so what is on the astrology for this week?
This week is a planning week. That's how I'm putting it. Like you're planning the launch. So I mean, our conversation is organically falling into it. Like it's time to launch your new era. That's what we're saying at Serious Joy. And this is a planning week where you're exploring your options. Today is a step 11 day. So everything's coming into alignment today, and you're going to feel what's out of alignment. Tomorrow you sort of expand and explore like what's next. And then Thursday is a holy shift. You're going to feel like a step 13 Capricorn. So you're probably going to have a major shift in your management perspective. You're
Yeah.
going to realize that I think we're going to identify how we no longer have to control our life the way we used to because we've grown inside. And with Jupiter direct inside of us, we're feeling resolute. Mercury is direct. We're feeling sharp. And so I think you're going to realize, I think you're going to find, like, for instance, for me, I'm having some ideas here that I won't broadcast yet, but I'm thinking about living my life completely differently in 2024.
Yeah.
I'm a little ahead of a 13, I think.
Okay. And then what happens on Friday?
Friday, it all comes together. And by the way, the moon is in Libra starting really soon here. So it's going to be sort of wishy washy back and forth, kind of dreamy, kind of tropical for the next 3 days. And then Friday, you get really clear. It's a step 14 day. So it's a Mercury rule day. It's the first Mercury rule day since Mercury was retrograde. So Friday is when all of your ideas become really sharp and succinct. And the moon goes into Scorpio, so you're willing to make the emotional jump. You're ready to draw the emotional line.
Okay.
So
And
ship gets serious on Friday.
and then what about Saturday and Sunday?
Saturday and Sunday is a kumbaya. Is this the really best thing? Are we going too far? Maybe we shouldn't be so extreme. Maybe we shouldn't. God, should we? I don't know.
Well,
Like, so
Saturday is Libra, right?
Saturday's Libra and moon's in Scorpio. The sun squares Chiron on Saturday. So what's interesting about that is if you have any relationships that are on the rocks, which I have several right now, I'll just tell you, like where it's just kind of like, I kind of feel like I'm sick at the BS, like or they're that way with me maybe too. I think it's dual, but I also think on a deeper level, it's like soul contracts are ending
Yeah.
or they're coming to a close. And so it's time for new soul contracts or phase two.
Yeah.
Like you and I are probably going to phase three,
I
of our
felt that
soul
actually,
contract.
I felt that because it's like we were trying to get together and there was this sudden thing where all of a sudden it got junky. And it felt like we weren't supposed to get together. That's what I felt.
I feel like we were breaking the
Yeah.
ice. Like we're kind of, we're like we're telling to each other's side. Like, listening to see if we can hear each other. To me, that was setting up for. That was a practice drill to me, like that moment. Because Gary and I were going to show. I mean, I was thinking like, oh, we could do a live together. But
Yeah.
I've got a momentum here. I mean, this is my trip right now is still closing out a certain storylines. I think.
Hmm.
But I think that was a what's the word? A good symbol for the year to come. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I thought. That's exactly what I thought. It just like there was um, the cake is still in the oven,
Yeah.
and it doesn't matter if I want to take it out early. It probably shouldn't take it out
It,
early.
heavy is the head of the visionary. Like, heavy is the crown of the visionary. Like when you're a vision, one thing I've noticed as a visionary is I see so far in the future and I want it now.
Yeah.
I've always been that way.
Yes.
And even with some of my, corporate plans, part of my perspective shift on this trip has been, oh, you know what? That's probably 5 years out, what I'm seeing, or 3 years out, the potential. Because I always see where things are going to go. And now I'm starting to like refocus on, okay, what's right in front of me from that future perspective.
Yeah.
So I think you and I were seeing the future and calling it now.
Yeah, I agree with that because even in business, like I got into wireless phones in the late 80s, but
Way
it was the
early.
2000 is when they're, yeah, really. And I made a lot of money, but it was like the real uptick and it was around mid 90s to 2000. Then I got into, voice over IP in the mid 90s.
Wow.
And voice over IP didn't become something until 2010 forward. And
Yeah.
and then, so I was always on this real leading edge. And I had a couple businesses that were colossal failures. And it's because I saw an idea and I started to realize in my businesses that I was 20 years ahead of the cycle.
Yeah.
So then I started taking, okay, well, I have an idea. I'm going to put it on the shelf in a tickler file. I'm going to leave it till that time is ready because I would act on the idea. And this is where your step system helped me learn. It was because I'd say, well, I have an idea. I'm going to protect it. Okay. Anybody else have it? I'm going to check it. I love this idea. Resonates with my heart. I can feel it. And then all of a sudden I believe it, Sagittarius, and I'm like all the way to step 9.
Yes.
I am. And I'm like, and I forgot 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And those are the ones those are the ones that cause businesses or things to fail.
Yes. I agree. That's actually what you're speaking to is like 90% of my personal readings. It's like the client is skipping a step.
Yeah.
And usually the client is crappy at one of the steps. And if you want to know what step you're crappy at, look at the net step of your Pluto, look at the net step of your Chiron, look at the net step of your Black Moon Lilith. Those net steps you have a problem with.
Yeah,
those are the steps you skip.
My Pluto is 28, so it's 10, so it's Taurus.
Okay, that's a different one. That's a unique one. A net 10 is not a step you skip. It's usually that you're not patient enough for it to come to fruition.
Yeah, that's my point.
Yeah.
It tells you exactly right there.
There you go. So it's sort of like waiting it to hatch. You're like sort of like not waiting long enough for the chicken to hatch is kind of what step 10 is. And the key to step 10 is you have to have enough patience and love. That's when you start to co-create with the universe, step 10. After step 10, you're now working with Mother Nature. So you just wait until it hatches. And that's difficult because a lot of times people who have an itchy step 10 finger, they'll call it quits when they just didn't give enough, time, space to contribute.
Yeah, I'm the opposite. When the itchy finger comes, I don't call it quits. I like double, triple down.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they crush the egg.
And step 10 is about sorting. It's about
sure.
what I want and what I don't want. So the universe tends to bring me a lot of different things at that time to make sure, is that really what you really, really want?
Yes.
And I find that like I'll have an idea or a project and then I'll have 3 other ideas similar to it come in trying to distract me. And it's asking me, hey, stay focused or do you want something else? And I have learned recently that I don't direct the flow. So I've learned to take my thought of how things should work and pull it out and just let whatever shows up. And then I just reading the signs that are showing up in my face are easier. like when
Yeah.
like when I got the voice in my head, voice in my ear this morning, and I talked to Tracy, and her mom who had her sister who had a message for me was the exact astrology as my mom. Exactly. I'm like, that's a sign. I'm going to listen to that one.
What kind do you know your human design by chance? I've just dipped my toe into it this year.
I'm a projector.
Oh, interesting. An emotional generator.
Yeah, yeah.
So a projector like puts something out there in the
Oh,
world
sorry,
that's
sorry, sorry,
radioactive.
sorry, 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 sorry. What did I say that for? I'm a generator. So I
Okay, a
need,
generator
yeah,
listens to
I
their body.
need, yeah, yeah. I like if you want, you can put a camera on me anytime and say, "Hey, Gary," and I could be dead tired, and if you ask me to do something, I can get up and do it. But
Yeah.
if I have to create the energy myself to do it, I quite often won't.
I'm a generator too. And from what I understand with generators, which I'm going to start incorporating into my readings, because it really gives the human design. The one thing I think is like priceless is it tells you how you manifest by the
Yes.
basic design that you are. And a generator, so law of attraction really only happens with generators. It doesn't happen with projectors. It doesn't happen with manifestors. It happens slightly with man gens. It really is a generator thing. And most of the world are generators.
Yes.
So most of the world law of attract, but 20% of the world does not law of attract. They
Huh.
have a different approach, which is fascinating.
It's only taken
Yeah.
a couple months of saying it every time you say
Yeah. Yeah. You see, slowly the Taurus will change, right?
it.
Like, yeah, I
So
think it took me 50 years to wear a shirt like this. So
So yeah, yeah, that's funny. So so what about this Scorpio moon coming up? Like Cynthia, who's on here, Scorpio moon. So what does that mean for her? What does she can expect? Because Scorpio moons are pretty
deep,
intense. Yeah.
deep and brooding. It's a deep well. Well, it's a lunar return, so there's something in astrology called a lunar return. And the truth is that women are the only ones who have their biology tied to a cycle, but everyone's on an emotional cycle. And so your emotional period is your lunar return. That's when the moon returns back to the place it was when you were born. At that point, you've done one emotional cycle, and that emotional return is an emotional growth point or breakdown. So we emotionally mature subtly every 28 days or not. We emotionally get worse and worse, or we emotionally mature. So this will be a maturing point. When you couple it with the sun in Capricorn, okay, this lunar return in Scorpio, it means that there will probably be a major shift in direction, authority, power, management. Like there'll be some business done. Whereas other lunar returns, it'll be like, well, let's just wait and see. Let's just wait and see. This lunar return, she's going to probably make some sort of conclusion or decision.
Yeah, I think that would be pretty accurate right now where she's at.
Yeah,
She's on
she's
there
somewhere
watching
else.
this, so
Oh yeah, actually, I screwed up the time zone. Sorry about that, buddy. Like
no,
I'm in Eastern
I
time.
missed your message.
Yeah, I thought it was in Central. I'm in Eastern here in Cozumel, so it's like, oh, I had no idea. I thought it
Oh,
was Central.
we get it all the time because we don't change time zones. And
It
so
doesn't. It
now,
doesn't change in daylight savings time. Okay.
no, so what happens though is we change everywhere else in the world.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
so we're on Eastern time right now, but we go to Central time and June 20th.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good to
Oh,
know. And it's June.
it's nice to not change time zones, but
Yeah,
it's a havoc for business. Like so
international.
my yeah, so my lives, which 10 o'clock, I was doing 8 o'clock Pacific time. Well, it was 10 o'clock, but then the time zone switched, and now it's 11. That comes in. I mean, I'm up at 5 a.m. So
Oh wow.
that's a lot of energy spent before that. So I was repatterning myself to be radiant because I want to show up and give people everything, right?
Oh yeah, we're the same way there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
Um,
somebody said talk about January 10th because
I
there was
just
a
saw
thought.
that. Yeah, I don't know. Like, let's see. January 10th, the Sun squares the North Node. I'm not sure where you're getting this from. I don't know if that is hierarchy.
Yeah.
You can let us know like what you mean by that. But like I'll tell you, in a nutshell, it's it's the countdown to the new moon. The sun will square the north nodes
Oh, Sun's
on January
squaring
10th.
North Node. So some people that could be a real big turning point.
That will definitely be a major turning point. So to kind of give you a scope of the month, all right. This week you're planning. Next week you commit or you don't commit. All right. And then from that commitment or not committing, it's what we're calling the launch. And the launch is of the new era, the new policy, the new management. So the 10th is really do or die moment because the new moon is on the 11th. So on the 10th,
Yes.
that's like your last chance to abort the launch. And we're calling it a launch at Serious Joy because that's what it seems like. It's like a rocket launch to the new era. And so you can abort the last day to abort the launch is the 10th.
Right.
The sun will square the north node, which means that which will be at 19 degrees. And the reason why that's interesting is because that's the same. So the sun will square the north node at 19 degrees. 19 degrees Aries is where the eclipse will be in April. So
Oh,
so
so
the
that's
sun squares
this
the
is
eclipse point.
yeah. So that's that. So that's the balance point for what's gonna like shit is gonna go down in April.
Yeah, and you're basically going to either, be under the shit or over the shit by your decision on the 9th, on the 10th.
Wow. So
Like, so the universe takes a long. What I learned in astrology, when I was first doing astrology, it's always like this week, this week, this week. Now I'm realizing, oh, this week is something I planned 4 months ago. Like my opportunity to actually change because I took the fork in the road and I've been way off in this direction. By the time that event happens, you've already made your choices quite often 2 to 3 months prior. So this really is the choice for a new era. What I'm saying is some people are going to buckle. So I've been saying this like 1/3 is going to buckle down and insist that they're right and you're wrong. 1/3 will be lost to not know what to do. 1/3 will be visionaries and dare to change. That's what I believe.
yeah, I mean that makes perfect sense for where we're at in the world right now. And I believe in the 1/3 ratio of any populace of anything, 1/3, 1/3,
Me
1/3. It
too.
always is never ever changed.
Yeah.
So
It's a
so we're
natural of
gonna
the of Father, Son, Holy Spirit, that Holy Trinity.
well three
Yeah.
Sagittarius
Yeah.
belief. It's the third dimension. Three
Yeah.
belief. This
Yeah.
dimension is all what my current state of awareness says is that it's all about what I believe.
It is. It's
No,
100%.
nothing else matters.
No, nothing really. If you want to be the master of life, master your beliefs and you've got it down.
Yeah.
Like, because your beliefs, when you're not paying attention and you're driving down the road, your beliefs are the autopilot.
Yes.
Beliefs autopilot all manifestation.
Yeah.
And you have to endorse a belief. So you have to empower it. You have to say, yes, I do believe that. So there's an opt-in also to a belief, right? Which is where people get really slowed down. Like your father will tell you you're no good, but you don't opt into that. I don't know if I'm good or not. And so people stay spinning. And so the car doesn't know where to drive unless you opt into belief. So you have to say, I believe this, and so it is. There has to be that, and so it is also. But once you
Hmm.
do that, it runs autopilot.
Yeah, so this is also when we come up to these days, like everybody comes up to the full moon. It's like, make your decision, do it right now. And I'm like, yeah, your decision's already made. Like what I say to people is that, people go, what about my free will? Well, your free will was the thousands of yeses and nos to things that you took up to that moment they think my free will is I wanted my free will to do something today. And it's like, no, your decisions all the way up to there are going to dictate at the end what free will looks like, and it's not that point. So I believe that it's about doing every day what works, and this is why your platform has helped me so much. Because if every day I check myself, people are like, "Oh, I'm gonna get together. I'm gonna plan this big. We got the full moon. We got the equinox coming. I'm setting it all, but they don't do shit between equinoxes, and
Right.
they wonder why isn't this not working? And I'm like,
Right.
because every single day it's checking the beliefs and the systems, and your platform, Serious Joy, it puts me in the right framework. It gives me perspective, and when things are shitty, which they are sometimes, at least I know why. I don't have to use my brain to think about it.
Right. Or worry. And Hierarchy asked here, just as a follow-up, Jess, is it okay for this time around? You've had the breakdown instead of the breakthrough and just keep going on that spiritual path. Yeah, you have to break down before you can break through. You're on the path. If you haven't broken down, then you should be concerned.
Yeah, yeah,
Like it's you have to break down the old
yeah.
system, just like bacteria breaks down food. Like you have to get rid of the old. Otherwise, the old will sabotage the new. If you try to build something new on top of crap, it's gonna fall apart. So
Yeah. And I mean, that's been for me, well, even for you, it's been the last, I mean, I remember talking in 2019 and 2018, 2019, that's where stuff was starting to break down in order to create the new. The difference, I believe, is that if I recognize, like, there's one thing to just let life show up. But if I acknowledge life, like I look at the astrology, like when somebody comes and when something happens like today, I can go, aha, clue right now. Now I'll still get that message somehow, but it might be if I'm supposed to do something in the jungle, it might be me falling off a truck while we're going through the jungle, getting lost. But it could be me just going out there with intent and doing it a positive way. I'm going to get to that end result. But if I look at the clues every day, I can actually, basically, I say to people, I look at the clues every day, I can determine how much pain or pleasure I have in the experience I'm going to have anyways.
that's really how it is about it. From what I understand, I mean that's the whole point of incarnation is in heaven or whatever that realm is, it's instant manifestation. You don't understand the subtleties in between. So we come down to this life to experience it in little micro measurements
Yeah.
and really experience it in slow mo. Really, life is slow motion, really. So yeah, if you just and that's I think forget astrology, forget human garage. If you just put your head down and master the day, you'll master your life.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
simple formula, regardless of what we've added to the equation with our work.
And well, this is when we started off our whole journey in this self-help part it was master your fascia, master your life. Because what happens is in my day, I have all this stimulus that has a response, and that response creates stress. So every emotion in the human body has two parts, like sadness and joy are the same chemicals in my body. That's why I cry when I'm sad and cry when I'm happy.
Mm,
Confidence and fear, same
mm.
chemicals. Anxiety, excitement, same chemicals. So, but my perception tells me which one it is. But if I'm in stress, I perceive the negative one. That's why we fascial maneuver. When you're in stress, boom. Now I'm open to perceive a new one because I'm relocated to perceive the best one. Stress is a hormone that the body doesn't want. So it goes. It's like the master drug. And when I'm in stress, my body's going to go to the narrative to solve that stress as fast as possible.
Mm. Yeah, so it's all about stress, which determines that polarity. That's your premise.
Yeah, it's all because stress is all disease. Every disease on the planet Earth is a dysregulation of stress, even
Uh,
genetic, because genes don't mutate unless they're stressed. And people go, "What about a baby? They're innocent." They get, well, that baby was in the womb of the mother. That mother had a shit ton of
oh
stress.
yeah,
And yeah, and so like because I deal with these things all the time. I deal with babies with cancer and stuff like that. And I've been asking myself these bigger questions all through my medical career. Because astrology and all that seem to apply, but then and all this belief system, but then why a baby? And
right. Yeah, no, agreed. Yeah, I mean, I'm still in therapy over my mom's pregnancy of me. I'm still shaking that off. Yeah, it's true. The baby absorbs all that, and I wonder if that's like the karmic choice of the mother.
well, it's
We
it's it's so the way we talk about it is a soul picks its experience, picks the parents, picks the name,
Yep.
picks all parts of the experience.
Yep.
It incarnates in to get the experience. Like if I hadn't have gone through all this crazy childhood, my mom leaving all the time, sexual abuse in my family,
Yeah.
pedophilia around and other parts of my family. If I hadn't gone through that, if I hadn't gone to prison, I wouldn't be here today. Like I can go to some of them and say I wouldn't be this person today without them. And if that's true for one of them, it's true for all of them.
Yeah. No, I agree. I completely concur. And I think it's sort of a theme park. I
Yeah.
think we take things a little too seriously. Um,
Yeah.
we really do, because as the older I get and the more wise I become, the more I realize it all doesn't matter. Just enjoy the ride. Because it's just a theme park. You go back at the end of the ride. and clean off, from what I understand. You heal when you get to heaven, and then you start it again.
So another date that's been coming up lately is I think January 20th.
Okay, let's look ahead here.
That,
Let's send
that
a
would
look into
be,
the
it'd
holy
be like
Bible of
27
astrology.
degree or 28-degree Capricorn, maybe.
The 20th. Oh, yeah, the 20th is pretty crazy. Okay, yeah, I don't know why it didn't come to mind. I guess because I'm in this tropical climate. On the 20th, we have the Sun and Pluto both enter into Aquarius on the same day. First, the Sun conjoins Pluto at 29 degrees 59 seconds, which is huge. That's the bleeding, bleeding,
Oh,
bleeding, bleeding final edge. Like
that's the
they
bleeding
can
edge.
they can join the very top, which I think is going to push the realm of reality a little bit, stretch limits of reality. Then Pluto hops into Aquarius, and then about 10 hours later, the Sun enters in Aquarius and joins in Aquarius, and then they're both at step zero Aquarius together. So that's really the shift. I mean, we've been talking about serious joy. So we look at the new moon next week as the launch, and then we look at the 20th as when you hit outer space. That,
Right.
that's kind
So
of the
that's
metaphor we're
why
using.
I can feel it building.
Oh yeah. Well, and I think there's also a building pressure, holding on to the old. And even when you don't want the old, there's still a part of you that's holding on to that side of the pool, that's still holding on to that old life for security, even though you need to jump.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like at probably 95% plus I've let go of all of the old. The only old that I think that I feel or experience today is like are habitual patterns that I'm still not aware of. But I and like when I came in over the couple of days and I had this big transformation coming back from Vancouver, I started to detox, and I know because when my body goes into detox, I'm going to go into a change. At the end of that change, I'm going to have this perception change. This perception change is now going to affect the way that I see the world, interact, and show up in the world. And that's really where the holding on to the old comes, because it comes into our body, our emotions, our thoughts, our feelings, or our perceptions. It's going to hit us somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, we're designed to keep running the program until we change programs. So, quite often the resistance that you feel when you're changing is your momentum of the old. Like it's like
Yeah.
a train that's going a certain direction. And for the first, it's not till you get till step 6 that you've actually landed from 0 to 6. If you're going to make a change, it's from 0 to 6. It takes a good 6 days, and then 7 is hallelujah, I made it.
So what are we've got the 10th and the 20th. Those are two big turning
Those are
points.
big days, yes. 10 days apart, ironically. I hadn't noticed that till just now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is again manifestation, and we've got to say Capricorn, or sorry, Pluto and your Sun,
Moving to
and
Aquarius.
they both come back at 0 degrees. So I mean, this is a melting pot for something big in the world is going to shift, and it feels like to me that we're going to feel or see that shift. It's going to be visible.
I believe you'll be in a new dimension. I mean, we're wondering in our team if this is the official. So the baseline is the third dimension. We're wondering if the baseline becomes the fourth dimension at that point,
So what is
ground
it?
zero.
What does that mean? Like in your idea, what happens when we shift? Because some people are not shifting.
Yeah, I think you start to get stretched if you refuse to shift because the world's leaving you behind at that point.
Right.
Like, so if you insist on holding back and the earth is moving forward, now you start to get stretched and you start to sort of energetically break apart. Or, let's think of it as an elevation. If everything is going higher and you're insisting on staying low, then the tension between the two, I think, starts to grow. You start to get sick, break down, have issues. What I believe it is a chakra thing. One of our compadres, Ruben Langdon, who does extra dimensional stuff, the EDs are saying that it's a chakra thing.
Yeah.
So human beings are very fight or flight, third chakra, solar plexus.
Yeah.
And fourth dimension is where the center of our universe is, the heart. That's the foundation. Instead of the root being what ties you to earth, your heart is what ties you to earth. But even then, you're not necessarily living completely in the heart. It's just that the center of this epicenter has shifted. That's the
Well,
idea. So
so January 10th, January 20th, 10 days apart. We're in manifestation. It's the heart. Taurus is manifestation, and it's the heart. Taurus is the heart. It's protect the heart.
Yeah, Taurus is yeah, the Leo is
Yeah,
the heart, I think.
Leo's the heart, but Taurus is the other side of the heart.
Yeah,
Leo's the projection, and Taurus is the protection, right?
Taurus is constructing the heart into cool things.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Is how I look at it. Like that's the subtlety. Like Taurus, to me, Taurus is the heart, one, and
Yeah.
Scorpio, zero. So Taurus is step 10. It is the heart and
Yeah.
Scorpio. I believe a Taurus is a Leo and a Scorpio that had a baby.
Yeah, well, Scorpio is the other side, so you're bringing it into reality. That's the manifestation. Oh, and
Yes.
then step 11 is the Virgo you bring it in, which we are in step 11 today. So,
Yes.
so what is today? Like the way I describe it to people is step 11 is the Grandmaster Virgo step, and it's perfection. It's about embodiment, and it's like so. People typically on a day like this, I find what I've noticed is that they feel all the things that they haven't done right or they haven't taken to heart.
Yes. So step 11 is a day of alignment. And so when the universe is aligning for you, and that's one day where God's like, no, here's how you do it. So step 11 is where God goes, here's how you do it. And you're like, oh, shit, I'm not doing it. Like you are hyper aware of everything that's out of alignment. But it is forcing you to alignment. So if you surrender to the energy, you'll be brought into alignment. So if you surrender and stop complaining or stop, judging, you'll come into healing and alignment. But you will see everything that's not in alignment. And this is the day where 11 is an interesting step because it's between the inner and the outer. So up until 11, you're all working on inner alignment. And then after 11, you're working on outer alignment. So it's really the day between two worlds, right? Where as soon as you come into alignment inside, you're like, oh, I'm okay. And you're like, oh, crap, the house is a mess. Like, that's when you wake up to your life not being in alignment. Now that you are the sort of metronome or you are the calibrator of what is in integrity.
Inner and outer. I wonder if Virgos have as statistically if they have their belly buttons innies or outies.
Oh, that's a very good. We'll have to do
I
we'll have to do a
I'm now
poll. That'd be a
thinking.
good poll question.
Yeah.
That'd be a good poll question. Virgos, do you have an innie or an outie? Probably I want to be like 50%. Yeah, that's interesting.
Because
It's very fascinating.
I feel, well, I mean, that's how I think about the body and astrology. It's like everything that happens exterior of my world is a reflection of what's happening inside.
Yes.
So, yeah, so a Virgo is that yeah, I mean, I've heard you say it, but I heard it a new way, which is the balance between inner and outer.
Yeah,
Oh, here we go.
it is.
Any,
Okay, we have some
any,
innies. Oh, we have some innies here. A lot of innies.
any, I bet you, look at that.
And maybe in the new era, they'll pop out and become outies.
Well, look at this. They're all innies.
They are all innies. That's very interesting. Oh, Virgo rising innie.
I'm a Virgo through Sep 29, so I'm an innie.
Oh, that's interesting.
See,
Yeah, I'm an
I
innie.
ask these stupid questions that
No, they're
tend to
interesting.
have a profound effect on how we look at the look at innies. Yeah, look at them all. So
Wow, fascinating. It's all
so
innies.
because the umbilical cord is our connection to our mother, and we're
A
brought
lot of
into
Virgos
existence
watching.
yeah.
It's been nothing but Virgos. We should just do this called as Virgo Live.
Well, I do find that on days, because I know a lot of people, I find that on like Gemini days, I have all the Geminis and they all come up. I know you get this in
Oh,
readings.
that's fascinating. Oh, wow. Interesting. Yeah. I do that in readings. I mean, it's not always to the day, but there's some relation. There's a correlation always, for sure. Yeah.
I mean, I have so much instantaneous feedback. Like there's no way I'm not going to run a chart. I just get a feeling and then I check, is that feeling true or not? Look at all the innings. Like, yeah.
Yeah. There's a Pisces inning. Okay.
Yeah.
Pisces
So
now now we're getting a full spectrum.
yeah. So the rest of you might as well put in there. What is your sign and are you innie or outie?
Yeah. Sign and innie outie now, if you guys wouldn't mind. Just
Yeah,
like sign then innie outie.
I feel like cancers. There's a lot of cancers who are outies.
Oh, that's interesting.
I mean,
I like to. We have
I look at these things in weird ways. I ask those questions because because when you said inside and outside reality, this is our inside outside reality. And when we're separated, it
Yes.
causes a reaction. The body is responding to an energy.
And Virgo rules, digestion. You know,
Yes. That's
they
why
tend.
Virgos have, and my small intestine is my brain. It's connected, same thing. So that's why Virgos get so disrupted in their head sometimes, because when their digestion is off, Virgos feel it. Their brain just doesn't function right.
We have one
Yeah.
Leo outie and one Cancer daughter outie.
Yeah.
Two
Cancer,
Cancer.
Audi.
Oh, Island Bow says that he knows at least two Cancer outies. Maybe
Yeah,
you are
and
attracted to
and guys,
outies.
the what I found is that there's a lot of other things to the body, like the moon has a strong influence, and also the degree, and yeah, and the rising has an influence. Oh, hey, there's Al.
I
How
was
dare you
interested.
get to see so many belly buttons?
Oh, that's this ancient Chinese secret.
Yeah,
Actually, because
that's
he's got
Dr.
something.
Ala. You've worked with her, so she's a Gemini.
Oh,
Uh,
that's funny. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
she's funny too. She's always cracking those
yeah,
jokes.
yeah.
And shout out to Daryl. I saw my boy Daryl in here too. Thanks. Nice for coming, Daryl.
Belly button party, I guess it's in here. Um, So yeah, so coming up here, we're if you were to approach this week, do you actually make a plan for the days, or do you look at the step numbers and actually plan it out, or do you just show up in the day and then confirm what you're already doing?
So the way I work with the steps is I read the day energetically, like I was alone in the jungle and I had no astrology. So I live my life energetically, and the astrology confirms and affirms for me. And as far as, for instance, like today's the step 11 day. If I come up with a mind like, oh, I don't know if I should sign up for this, get the year plan or the monthly plan for this subscription, my mind will go, I don't have to make that decision until step 17. So, like, the way I use astrology is I use the step number as a means of sort of what I need to accomplish for the day, and that's all I have to accomplish for the day. So today I just have to come into my alignment, find my integrity, love myself and love myself some more. That's what step 11 is. I love myself and I love myself some more. So it's a double dose of love where you're sort of calibrating yourself. And that's all the pressure I put on myself is that day's step. My mind will skip ahead to other steps, but I don't actually pull the lever on those until I get to that
So
day.
So the thing that I got today was that it was so weird, dude. It was telekinesis. It was a voice in my head. I wasn't dreaming. It was in my right ear only, and it says I'm coming. And then I know from the body to pay attention to something I'm going to hear. And then it was from a Scorpio. That's my vision of that Scorpio that I trust. So that's when I get it. And then I had my mom's energy tell me to do very specific things. Now, that's happening on a step 11 day. And I'm 29 degree with a lot of Virgo, so it's and a Virgo by itself. So how would you interpret something like that?
Maybe your mom's returning. Anyone pregnant in your circle?
Oh,
Yeah, I don't know. Grandkids about to pop? Usually they jump down the line to the
well,
grandchildren.
the prescription for me is about getting out of my head, still moving into my heart, about going into the jungle, going to the cenote type thing. I have to pee on the ground, a whole bunch of very specific instructions, and then do something with the moon. And after that, I become a wild man, whatever that
Mm.
means.
Oh, yeah, I like
Wild
to see
man walking.
wild man walking. I like it.
Yeah, I'm
You know,
interested in. I'm going to do all those things now because of the way it came.
I believe, for instance, I went to the Mayan ruins here in Tulum and had a whole tour from the tour guide. And, they were so incredibly intelligent with how the earth works and Mother Earth works with human beings. And, we've forgotten so much of that intelligence, including peeing on the ground. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
and the interaction and the marking of your territory, and and also to keep animals from attacking you, would pee around your tent.
yeah.
Because you're marking your territory. So I'm not surprised. Also, my dream caliber has gone way up since I came here too. I've been dreaming vividly since I got here, and something about being in the altitude of Colorado, I barely dream.
Yeah. So, okay. So I'm very similar from Vancouver. When I came down here, the first time that I can remember in my adult life, I started dreaming when I was here.
Oh, that's interesting. I'm wondering if it's an equator thing.
Yeah,
Like,
I think so. The I think it has to do with the zones. I mean, Cynthia is not, this wasn't exactly her favorite place because this is Cancun falls on her Scorpio or Pluto line.
Oh,
So last year
oh,
she got a shit kicking and being out here because it's everything coming up, right? Um,
okay.
but I think it has to do with the equator. I think it has to do with pressure because when I go on in a mountain or I'm on a plane, all of a sudden all my thoughts, it's like I'm high. I get all these thoughts in my head. And then I go down to the ocean and now I just have all these feelings and sensations in my body.
Mm. Yeah, I've noticed that I do think the Pluto line kicks your ass. It's sort of like an enema.
Yeah. I think she
It's a
would agree.
spiritual. It's a spiritual enema. My Pluto line is Colorado in Denver, where I reside a lot of the times, and I it cleared me all out, and now I'm back again, and I'm getting cleared out again in waves.
Yeah, somebody
So
said they
I
moved to their Pluto line and they rarely dream.
really thank you for that affirmation, DC. I don't know how to say your name.
Yeah.
D
Where's your
D
Pluto
D.
line?
Mine is right through Denver, and my
Oh, that
my
makes
trip.
sense why you've been going back there.
Yeah,
After LA, that was like that's why you went to Texas, but you hadn't finished the job yet. Your brain was telling you to go to Texas, but your life was like, no, you got to go back and finish your shit.
more enema. Yeah. And that's what's been happening. Yeah, a Pluto line is found from an astrocartography chart, by the way.
Yeah, I
And if you,
use astro.com like you, and I go and it says astro travel places, and then you can pick your place and see where you are.
yeah, there's an astrologer named Michael C. Bryan. I just interviewed him, and he's actually going to be teaching astrocartography classes this spring. If you guys want to learn it,
Oh,
just to throw it
I'm
out there.
super interested in
Yeah,
that.
I'm interested in too. I'd actually like to maybe take it with him too. He's super Virgo, although he won't tell me his sign. So,
Ah,
which makes me
cheers.
think he's a Virgo. Yeah, he'll tell me his sun sign. He's a Taurus, but he won't tell me anything else. And I'm like, you're a Virgo.
It's funny
He just
because
smiled.
I've been playing this game for 4 years with Cynthia and Jason. I go and we watch people like a server or something like that, and then what we do is guess the birthday. Uh, over 2/3 of the time, I can get down to within a day or two of the birthday itself by watching them, asking a few questions, and every once in a while I get like, "Boo, you're July 21st, right?" And it
Wow.
it it freaks the shit out of them. But the way I do it is I look at first of all the body shape. I look at the way that they communicate. I look at how they interact with us, and usually if I watch somebody for like 5 to 10 minutes and I'm not distracted, I can get it.
Wow. That's impressive. I usually guess they're rising. I have to hang out with you for a while to get your side.
The one
Because I
I can't
usually,
get is Aquarius.
yeah, the aquas, if you get to know the aquas are deceiving. Like they are different in public than they are alone. So, they turn on a different light. They turn it on and they turn it off. They come and go kind of
So
thing.
somebody
But quite often
asked
at
what our signs
parties,
are.
I'm a Taurus with a Leo rising, and Gary is a Sagittarius with a Aries rising.
Yeah,
And Gary has a Capricorn moon, and I have a Leo moon.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Like we're perfect pals.
Yeah, we are, brother. I'm excited. Well, I think this is the year, so for this new era for me, I'm not going to announce it yet, but I do think I'll be traveling a lot
Yeah,
this year. I'll put it that way.
I mean,
Like,
our whole we're that's what we've been gearing up for is travel.
yeah, I mean, I like this idea of doing lives in different locations. Like, I see no reason to be behind a desk anymore. I might just rent my house and just be mobile. I'm not exactly
I mean,
sure. I'm thinking
our,
along
our
those
lives
lines.
are set up to travel. So like we're down to one. I'm in a backpack. I'm gonna get a carry on, but we're down to one backpack for everything that I have that I move and we go from place to place. We've been getting this down, but we're getting ready because we've got Greece, Australia, Indonesia, Philippines, Kuwait this year for sure. Maybe Turkey, maybe India.
That's amazing. I'm a Kardashian. I have it down to one 10-piece luggage set. But I have everything you might need in every climate and every color, honey.
That's funny. Chris, it's been awesome chatting. I'm so glad. Hey, it's so funny. We are so close to each other,
I
and we're
know.
still so far away.
We're literally, folks. We're 2 hours from each other right now. Actually, 2 hours from each other right now. Like You'll see the sun shift behind clouds at the same time.
Yeah. Thank you,
Well, it's
Chris.
great to see you, man. It's great to Happy New Year. Happy New Year to
Happy New
everyone.
Year.
We'll see
Okay.
you next week. Much love.
Take care. Okay, if you haven't done it yet, I just want to put a plug in there for the app, and the process has changed my life. You heard us talking about the step system. You can find the step system. It teaches you through the Serious Joy app. You can go to Human Garage. You can go to our webpage under products and partners. Under partners, you find Serious Joy. You can try it out for $3.99 for the first month. If it doesn't resonate with you, you can cancel at any time. There are no contracts, no other fees. And I believe, so what it's done for me personally is it literally gives me a forecast for the day, week, month, year. And then it tells me systematically what I can do throughout the day. It tells me, because it gives me 7 messages to keep me on track. Otherwise, astrology just wasn't practical for me. So people ask how I know so much about it. I've just been using that system, and it works like crazy. I don't know how else to describe it. Because unless I'm an astrologer, I don't get the chance to interact with it daily. But if I am, I can look and say, well, that's why people are so crazy. That's why things are going on. Or this is why all this is happening in my life. And it helps me make sense out of it. So go check out Serious Joy on our platform. When you purchase a product from us or for them, it supports the content and all the messaging that we do. All the programs that we run are free of charge. And it supports us building this and moving forward. We're expanding now in 80 countries right now simultaneously. And we've got over 20 languages where we have fashion maneuvers. And we are starting a global reset starting between, you can start between the 2nd and the 4th. And there is thousands of people that are starting together. And that global reset is a new 28-day reset, which takes you day by day. It gives you all the instructions how to clean up your life, how to get chemicals out, how to work with your body. It's all there, easy and simple for you to do. Thank you so much, and we will see you guys tomorrow. And tomorrow is with Rob.